Old School Bodybuilding Clothing Company. If it's been 3.5 hours since you last ate protein and now you're starting to freak out, you are old school. If watching someone sit on a hammer machine for 5 minutes between sets playing with their phone pisses you off, you are definitely old school. OSBBC.com for the hardest training athletes.
You're fine.
Like I said, do you like my tail?
Like I said.
And we are back for Iron Rage. Of course, I'm Dave Palumbo, joined by Lee Priest, Mr. 50, I call him now, because he's officially 50 years old. For a whole week. You know, I didn't realize how many birthdays were actually in that July range where you turned 50. My sister turned 50 yesterday, July 12th, which so you guys are like very close in age.
Stallone's birthday.
Sid was also. And who else's birthday was it?
Mine.
Sylvester Stallone was on
What
the
was your
same
birthday,
day as
Tyler?
mine.
20th.
Oh, Tyler's the 20th. Okay. He's coming up still.
All the greats are in July.
That's right. I didn't know that.
I just scrolled through YouTube, Dave. You're famous again. Posted 5 hours ago. Dave Palumbo calls out Bob Ciccarello and Ford Abadard on Nick Trigilli's channel, Dave. You're famous again.
I'm famous again. I can't get away.
I can hardly wait to get Nick's take on you. Because I watched your video. I don't think you called out Bob and Fuad.
Well, I think from what people told me, I don't watch really his channel, but people said that he actually was. He gave me credit for actually, I guess, saying that Bob really. There's no real argument here because Bob is not the athlete's rep because no one elected him. So,
No.
But you know, what I did want to talk about today was not the fact.
Now, can I just bring up one thing before you start? Because I'm getting sick of this America bullshit about the January 6th thing. And I just couldn't take it this morning when I saw this guy who's been to Afghanistan. He was over there in Iraq, and he's sitting there crying in front of the committee saying, this was nothing like, this is worse than anything I experienced in the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm like, what? I said a few people running into a building at the Capitol is worse than the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm like, oh my God.
You know what, Lee? We live in a society now where perception is much more important than reality. In other words, the way social media spins it, the way TV spins it, the news, the newspapers,
that's crazy.
That becomes the history or the truth of the matter. It has nothing to do with really what's happened or what was going on. It's just how people spin it. And you know what? That's why I don't watch it. People ask me, how come you don't watch the news? You didn't hear about so-and-so? Because I don't believe the news, number one. And number two, I don't need to I'm not going to let it mess up my brain in terms of how mood I'm in. I'm not going to get depressed over it.
It's almost like they're saying the sky's blue at the committee saying, no, it's pink.
Right.
The sky's pink. How dare you say it's blue?
Right. And if you have enough people saying it's pink, then it's pink, right? That's all there is to it.
Let's get Jimmy on. He said it's flat, so it's not round.
Speaking of Jimmy, you saw that Tyler showed me the other day, and I was looking them up. They had that new space telescope. They sent 1 million miles away from Earth, and then now they're shooting. I guess
they had some more
at galaxies.
They had some more photos
pictures,
on.
Tyler.
Yeah, they had some more of the photos on this morning. It's like they don't look real. Did they add color to those photos or
They're infrared, so it's more of like an illustration.
Oh, so they have to interpret. The computer interprets, I guess, what it's seeing in an infrared spectrum.
I saw Joe Biden like announcing it and stuff like that. Maybe they should use that telescope to look for his brain. That would be fucking exciting.
Joe Biden thinks we're preparing to go to the moon. Like he doesn't even realize that we've been there already. No, but Jimmy would probably say that this is a bullshit picture, right? I'm sure that's what Jimmy's explanation would be.
Of course he would. I haven't asked him because I've been chatting to Jimmy back and forth on the videos, and all he's been is in that truck day and night.
Yeah. It's pretty cool that we could see back so far. You know, in time, basically, because you remember light takes, it travels at a tremendous speed, but these galaxies and suns are so far away that by the time the light comes to us,
exactly.
By looking further back, or I should say looking further into the universe, you're actually looking back in time, which is kind of cool. So
I know, but so all those what we're seeing now might not even be there anymore.
No, could be destroyed already.
Does that mean when we see a photo of the Earth, we might not be there? We could already be gone and we don't know it.
The best explanation I've seen for the reality we live in is that imagine that there's an infinite number of possibilities for every decision that you make, and that every one of those decisions that you make on every millisecond of your life is another universe, is a parallel universe to us. So that every decision that you're going to make and every decision that you've already made is already out there. It's already happened in some other universe. And so that what you're basically just doing is, as you direct your thoughts or attention, you're just going to that alternate universe, and you're just popping around infinitely like that. So everything already exists already and has already happened already. It just depends on where you're putting your attention to it. And that's probably the greatest explanation of life,
Well, thank you for today's show, Dr. Strange.
Yeah, that tracks.
I love it. Anyway, on a more normal note, I wanted to I was in the gym today working out, and I was talking to Aaron Reed. I don't know if you know who Aaron Reed is. He's like a 6'5" bodybuilder. You can pull up a picture of Aaron if you want on his Instagram.
Who?
Aaron Reed.
Okay.
Really nice guy, good guy. He used to live out in Venice for a while, actually. Now he's out here in Cape Coral. He was in the WWE for a while, and he competed. He's probably one of the taller bodybuilders to compete. I think he's at least 6'5". He towers over me at the gym. Yeah, there he is. And him and I were talking about natural bodybuilding. And, it's interesting. It's always, you ever notice that the guys that were the best natural bodybuilders who then decided to use anabolics became super sensational when they actually decided to take anabolics? Kai Green comes to mind, Shawn Ray, Ronnie Coleman, Lee Priest. I was natural for a long time too before I took anabolics, and I exploded too. Because you know what? If you're a good natural bodybuilder, it means that you've learned how to train, you've learned how to eat properly, you've learned the right supplements, and you've learned how to be disciplined for a long period of time. And too many guys, I think today, as soon as they've been working out, a month or two, they're already on anabolics, and they don't even know how to eat right. They don't train right. They don't recover right.
They're on it before they even join the gym these days. It's the anabolics first, then the gym membership.
So what happens is, Lee, they're depending on the anabolics to put the size on rather than perfecting diet, supplements, and training, which we know is the most important variables in the success as a bodybuilder. Anabolics just make things work better. That's all.
Well, I've always said that because you'll get a young guy who might train 3 days a week. He eats like maybe 2 or 3 meals a day.
Yep.
And he goes to the gym. He's like, oh, nothing's happening. I'm going to take gear. So now he takes the gear. He goes to the gym 6 days a week. He's eating 6 meals a day. He's like, look at me. Look how I'm growing now. I'm thinking, if you just had eaten the 5 and 6 meals and trained properly without the gear, you would have made pretty much the same results to begin with.
Right. Jose Raymond's another guy who comes to mind. I mean, he was a lightweight bodybuilder at Team Universe every year. And he moved up to middleweight when he turned pro. And, that was only 176 pounds. I don't even know if he was 176. And he was competing in the 200s, when he was as a pro. So, I mean, it's incredible. Like, and the message I'm trying to deliver here is, guys, get your eating, supplementation down and training down perfectly, where you cannot gain one iota more muscle naturally before you ever consider taking an anabolic. And if you do that, I promise you, when you go on a cycle, you will explode with growth, even on a small cycle.
I've always said that at least 5 to 7 years natural, just for a foundation, just to
assuming you start as a teenager. But if you're starting at 20, I mean, even give yourself 2-3 years at least, where you can maximize your gains.
Well, like I said, it's the same ones too. Like I said, they'll be eating crap and not training properly before they go on. Then when they go on, they eat good and train properly. And then now they've come off their cycle, they go back to missing meals and they go, oh, I've lost all my size.
Right.
It's like,
I never lost anything when I would go off a cycle. I would maybe deflate a little bit, but I never really lost anything.
Maybe a little bit of water.
Yeah.
Because I'm eating a lot of food, maybe a little bit of water. But strength-wise, I've always said it, some of my best lifts was when I was off the gear. But when I did come off the gear, I never my arms never went like, like you said, maybe a little bit of puffiness depending what you use them, but never. I see guys go,
because no, you said it because they stop training and eating right when they're off gear.
Yeah.
They figure, well, why waste the time? Well, you're not wasting the time. The reason you're training hard and eating right and resting enough when you're off gear is to preserve your muscle. That's the key, preservation. So when you do go back on, you're not having to make back all that lost effort, so to speak.
That's why I'd get annoyed, because even those years I was off gear, like after the accident, I kept training. Didn't take gear for at least 3 to 4 years. People are like, oh, you got to be on it. How do you keep your muscle? I'm like, I still eat every day and I still go to the gym every day. Why would I lose my muscle?
Right.
Oh, you can't keep muscle if you're not on the gear. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, hey.
Now, not everyone is a Lee Priest genetics-wise, so some people might have a propensity to lose some muscle more so than you do. But the point you're making is if you eat right and you train right and you recover right, especially while you're off and you're natural, because that's the most, because you can't flub it. You can't mess up when you're natural because you will lose muscle.
No.
You won't lose the muscle, but you're only off 8. What do guys go off? 8, 10 weeks? That's all you really need to go off. I mean, I know you went off for longer periods, but most guys.
Do they really?
Well, I mean, they should. No, guys should go off 8 to 10 weeks, and they don't. But I'm saying you're not going to lose very much in 8 to 10 weeks, because the first 4 weeks you're going to still have some of the stuff in your system. And it's really only about 6 weeks you're going to be off with nothing. And you know what? If you can't maintain muscle in 6 weeks, 6 weeks is like that, then there's something wrong with you.
I just had someone send me a question the other day. It's like, Lee, I've been on a cycle now. I think it was Test and Dianabol. He just said orals, actually. Then he said Test. And he goes, I've been on for a year and a half nonstop. Haven't come off. I'm planning on doing a show this December or mid next year. Once I've done the shows, how long do you think I should come off for? I'm thinking
2 years.
I said, you've been on orals and Test or whatever for a year and a half straight already, and you haven't fucking come off.
I knew a girl who came to me and she's like, I don't know what to do. I need your advice. What? She's like, I've been on Cytomel T3 for like 3 years straight, and she was afraid if she went off it, she was going to get fat. And you know what? And she had a tendency to get fat, but you know what? As soon as I got her off of it, I weaned her off of it over like 3-4 weeks. She actually was leaner than before when she was on the Cytomel. So, because her natural levels kicked on. So you can't. That's why bridging, and doing extra stuff, staying on HRT is not cruising, whatever. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's stupid because you're not making gains when you're on there, and you're really not doing anything more than if you would just come off. If you came off, you probably would lose 6 to 10 pounds of water the most. If you stay on like a low dose, whatever, Anavar, and you bridge, or you stay on HRT, 100 milligrams a week, what you're doing is you're not letting your receptors recover, and you're really not losing. You're probably going to still lose the same 10 pounds. It's stupid. It's a complete waste of time.
What I need to know is, Dave, what do we as the people have to do to get Shawn Ray in the ring? This promoter's still on his ass to get him in the ring.
Tell people who didn't watch the other show, Lee has a promoter that contacted him that said, I offered Shawn Ray $30,000 to fight you, Lee, that this promoter was going to put up the money. And Shawn was complaining about that wasn't enough money, right? Is that what happened, basically?
Yeah, it's going to be in the UK and that. And then now he's gone back to Shawn and he's offering him a percentage of pay-per-view and ticket sales. So I haven't heard the last, but he just keeps writing back. He goes, this guy's an asshole. I want to see you knock him out.
Do you think that Shawn is just not interested in fighting, or do you think he's trying to hold out for more money?
Maybe hold out for more money, because you could be not interested in fighting someone, but you get to a certain amount of money, because it's like he said into the message you showed me, they sent to Shawn, he goes, it's 5 rounds, 3 minutes each. Let's just say it goes the whole 5. Right. There's 15 minutes for 30,000 and a percentage of pay-per-view and shit like that. It's like,
that's pretty. You're going to get a percentage. That's a good deal, because if you guys, let's say, would you charge $25 maybe for pay-per-view? There's at least 10,000 people that would buy it. I mean, the 10,000 people that watch this show every single week, and we have more than that probably, but 10,000 people would certainly sign up for that. That's a lot of money,
And you probably even get more than that. If this was promoted properly, who wouldn't want to see 2 old bodybuilders? It'd be like that movie Grudge Match with Stallone and De Niro.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it'd be like.
But the thing
And
is, though, even if
you'd have
Shawn
to have
goes,
an
"You know what?
entourage. Sean
I'll
would have an
to-
entourage. You'd dress up as Superman or something, or Species Man, and
I'd
we'd have to walk
I'd have
out.
to go get the flat top. I'd have to get the flat top like Drago again.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like,
I got to make you like
Even
a
if-
Species Man costume, like a green costume with like a big S on you.
black and
cape.
green, nice green and black gloves. And
That's
But
right.
the thing is, even if Shawn didn't want to fight for that amount of money, walk in and fucking take a dive if
Yeah,
you fucking
yeah.
want. Who gives a shit? It's like,
Right. Yeah. Take
Go
a couple.
down.
Yeah. And you know what? He's athletic. He wouldn't like get the crap beat out of him. He could just
No.
he could pull the old Sugar Ray Leonard and just try to stay away from you type of thing. You know.
And who's to say? Like I said, I've seen plenty of boxers. Okay, let's just say I've been in training.
Yeah.
Even if you're good, someone can get a lucky punch in, and he could knock me out. So
Right,
it could go either way.
Well, you remember when I'm trying to think of what was that when Muhammad Ali fought that wrestler. Remember they had boxer versus wrestler. This was way back years ago. I think it was 1980, and they wanted to see like a professional wrestler against a professional boxer, and the guy basically went on his knee on his butt and was kicking Ali in the shins for basically all like whatever it was 10 rounds or something like that. And Ali got paid $6 million, which at the time was probably, today it would have been worth $25 million, maybe more, $30 million. And the guy got like a bunch. I think the guy got a couple $1,000,000, and they put on a show, and everyone was disappointed, of course, but we all tuned in because we wanted to see what was going to happen. So,
But like I said, even imagine just the lead up to this, Shawn and I training or doing whatever, and just the thing. I think it would be one of the biggest things to happen in bodybuilding because, like I said, both Shawn and I are polarizing. People love us or hate us, so people would like to see us just hit each other in the head.
well, if it was successful, what would happen is we would get follow-up fights. So if let's say you won, let's say you beat Shawn, who would you fight? Like who would you want to fight next? Like in the industry?
I don't know because, like I said, Shawn and I have this ongoing thing that for some reason he started. So I had this.
Right, but I know, but you don't have to hate the person. You could just say, you know what, this would be a good fight, for publicity wise. Who else could you fight?
I don't know because I really do have to have a bit of dislike for someone. That really
No, but if the money's good, you'll get in the ring with them.
I don't know because I'm trying to think because I'm friendly with everybody. It's hard to.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard to, like I said, you really got to have a little bit of I don't like that person to really want to get in there with them.
Well,
so
you guys can
otherwise-
build up some some social media animosity towards each other. What about like would you fight like Jose Raymond or something like that? I mean, he's a little younger than you, but not much.
No, because I like him now because we right,
but you guys would pocket a lot of cash. Who cares?
Yeah, but still, it'd be almost like you're sparring, and if you hit him too hard, you'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, I didn't."
Yeah,
mean to
until
do that,
then he hits you with a shot and knocks you out. Yeah, you can't have it. No, there's no friends in the ring. I'm sorry.
I know. I was going to say if they come at me hard, then I'd be like, "Okay, I thought we were friends." Then you'll start slugging it out.
What about Bob Ciccarello? Would you fight him?
He'd probably have to be next on the list somewhere, wouldn't he? It might be like it could be me and Fuad and Shawn and Bob tag team. Yeah. We go into wrestling.
What about like Kai Green? I mean, Kai Green might be a good draw. He would probably draw a lot of people if you fight him. Would you?
It'd be very.
Yeah, let's say Kai said, "I'll fight you, Lee." I got a guy who's going to give us $100,000 each. Would you do it?
Yeah, because he'd be doing backflips and shit in the splits. I'd have to. I'd be like, where the fuck did
he go? Would you? What was? I forget the. Remember the Klitschko brothers? They wouldn't fight each other, right? Wasn't that like their thing? They. So if someone said, "Well, Jimmy the Bull is he's got fight training," would you fight him, or is that like a Klitschko thing, like where you guys are just too close to fight each other?
No, you'd be too close. You wouldn't be able to. Like I said, you'd end up just like I said. You'd be pulling back on your punches. You really wouldn't.
Yeah, Jimmy wouldn't want to hurt you either. He would probably be pulling back too.
Jimmy and I could go in like a hot dog eating contest instead of. I know Jimmy doesn't. I know Jimmy doesn't like walking, so I could do like in the Monty Python Life of Brian, where he just gets that gladiator and just keep running around the ring till he tires out.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think it would be spectacular, if we get some bodybuilders, like grudge match bodybuilders to fight. for like, even if it's for charity, but you know what, even if it's not, I don't care. If the bodybuilders want to pocket the money, I don't care. I think it would just be great, you know, just for entertainment purposes. Look,
well,
they
I'm
got
sure
that
there's
stupid
other
slap. They got that slap fighting, you know, that they have nowadays.
It does
You
seem
could even
tough,
do
but-
that. You know, what would you do? Slap fighting with Shawn?
Yeah, that'd be good. Okay, Sean, I could do a slap fight. Yeah, 'cause
Yes.
I got a nice thick. I got a
Yeah,
nice
look
thick.
at that.
Yeah,
arm.
you got a
Get
big,
'em right
you got a
on the-
big meat claw.
Look at that baseball mitt.
Meat cleaver, yeah.
Get them right on the chin part. They'd be almost like a whack.
And you guys are about the
But
same
what-
height, so it would work out well too, right?
Exactly. Some of those guys you see have the, like I've seen the slap fighting where someone's really tall. You think the shorter guy, you can't get the leverage, but the taller guy just goes whack
Yeah.
down on the shoulder.
Well, there's a weight issue too. If you're a lot heavier than the other guy, you can certainly, you know, move them.
My
further.
luck, I'd probably tear a bicep. As soon as you hit him in the head, your bicep goes.
Yeah, well, I think there's a certain way you have to do it so that you don't tear a muscle. You know, you probably have to learn slap fighting technique, Lee, if you're going to do that. It's like arm wrestling. You know.
Yeah, but I think there'd be a few, because I know not just me, but if it was popular, I'm sure there's other bodybuilders in the industry that have grudges against other people who have
Oh,
either
sure.
beat them in a contest or talked or whatever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Craig Titus would have a lineup for people waiting for him.
I'm sure Vic Richards might want to make some money off of that too. Now that he's
Yeah.
alive, at least, you know. I would say that the slap fighting would work because, you know, the Arnold Classic holds it as an event right now, so they probably could organize like a special, you know, grudge match, celebrity slap fight. You probably talk to the Arnold promoters. They probably would go for it. They probably, you know, and that would be on pay-per-view. You probably could make a few bucks off that.
Who goes first in those? Do they flip a coin on who slaps who first?
I got to look. I'm assuming they probably do because I guess theoretically it could be all over after one slap, right? If someone's really that strong.
Exactly. Say like you flip a coin and say, like I said, Sean slapped me first, but he just gets you in that sweet spot,
Yeah.
then you're knocked out. You're like, I didn't even get a fucking go. What the fuck?
I'll be like Mickey on the sideline.
Get up, you son of a bitch, because Mickey loves you.
Species sponsoring you, you asshole.
I'll get up, Lee, you son of a bitch. Lee will be like,
I'll be having.
which way did he go? Which way did you go? Which way
I'll
did you
just-
go?
I'm just going to pour 200 mils of water in the tub of stimuli and swirl it around.
You'll have to do slap training, like where people will smack you in the face so you get used to getting hit in the face. You know, I'm sure there's some kind of technique where you bite down or so you get your jaw tight so you don't break your jaw. There has to be some special way of doing that. Otherwise,
And you're not allowed to. I think you're not allowed to flinch, are you? Or you can't. Well, you got to just. I'm not sure because I thought I saw one guy go to flinch like that, and they said no, I wasn't allowed that.
you can't flinch.
I'm not sure. I think you could like flinch, but I think when he saw it coming, he sort of turned his head a bit. I don't think you're allowed to.
Oh, you're not allowed to turn your head. In other words.
I don't think so. I think you got to like be pretty much just straight and take it because I guess if there was the hitch and you turn, you're sort of taking some of the force away.
Right.
So
I was gonna say there's got to be
But it would-
technique. There's got to be
it
technique.
would be hard though. Knowing it's coming, it would be hard just to keep your head there.
you got to be a little bit of a sick fuck to want to get slapped in the face by someone. I understand wanting to slap someone else in the face, but receiving the slap is not obviously and because with fighting you're blocking. You know, you're trying to block yourself from getting hit. This event, you're actually saying, hit me. You know, it's almost like the stupidest event of all time, but it's fun to watch because it's so stupid,
And
you know.
I love the guys that stand behind them ready to catch them.
Yeah, because they know people go down. That's why.
Some of them go down hard. Have you seen some of the big guys that just it's like drop?
Well, you know, if you get hit in a certain way, your nervous system just shuts down and your lights go out, basically, you know.
Well, that's what I mean. Imagine some of those strongmans where they got hands like a fucking baseball mitt. Even an open hand would be like getting punched in the face.
I got news for you. I would not want to get hit by Jimmy the Bull's hand. He's got it's like made of like steel. His hand. I mean, he could seriously hurt someone with that hand. I don't know if he could actually swing it anymore because it's like kind of stuck. But if he ever hit you with that hand would hurt.
Actually,
It would probably leave a dent on your face.
Because his arm is like that, it's like a baseball bat. It can't move. It's probably in the right angle. We just got to wind him up, and when he fucking releases, it's fucking like that.
Yeah, it must be a lot of back involved too, because you know you got to use your body. You can't just if you use your arm, you're not going to generate that much slap strength.
It's probably like a boxer where boxers use their waist the twist and,
We'll
you'd
have to
bit
get
of
a slap fighter on the show next week and get some technique tips from him. So hit your promoter up, see if he wants to offer Shawn a slap fight. I think that would be more interesting anyway, because then everyone's guaranteed to get hit. You know what I mean?
We're gonna go from boxing to a slap fight. Here comes Lee and Shawn at the Arnold Classic.
Like a thumb wrestling match, yeah.
It's gonna be a fucking thumb war.
There you go. Now, Lee made a video about making his own birthday cake. I kind of teased this on After Hours, and he used protolyzed and isolized species nutrition protein products to make this cake. He videoed it for us. Tyler is just putting the final touches on editing it.
It's
up.
ready.
All right, so we'll probably have it up
And I
by
was
the end of the week.
surprised how nice it tasted. Even my wife had some, and she's like, because I figured because I said
You didn't show that footage. That's what I was waiting for. You guys tasting the cake. You never tasted it in the video.
Well, I forgot because it was so good. I ate it. That's what I said to my wife. I said, I think I was meant to video us eating.
Yeah. I'm watching the whole video. I'm editing it, just kind of trimming it up and everything. And I'm like, where's the footage of them eating this thing?
It's the worst part of making it cooking.
Let me tell you, it was.
You got to cut the thing and eat it.
You already did all the filming and the cooking. You're just ready to eat it.
Oh, it was. When I cut it, the pink, because I said the icing was made with the sugar-free chocolate thing to make it go to dark chocolate, and then the inner bit, you just add a bit of food coloring, so it's still the protein pudding one, right. The pudding. So, but then inside you just make them. If you want the icing, you just add less water, of course, to make it thicker. And inside, when I cut it open, the pink oozed out, and of course, someone goes, "That looks like a black woman's vagina."
Oh, God damn it!
I showed my friend. He goes, "That looks like a vagina."
You should have said, "Lee, it tastes like one too." That's
No, actually, it was very good. Because because you make something healthy, and my wife, she likes just normal food. When she ate it, she goes, "This is very good." I said, "So you can't tell there's protein and it's sort of healthy?" She's like, "No, it tastes like a normal nice chocolate cake."
Yeah, you everything you used was sugar free. There was really no added sugar or carbs. The only thing in there, I guess, would be the flour that was in the sugar free cake mix, right?
And then, like I said, and even then, like I said, you could go for even. I guess I'm sure there's like healthier type cake mixes too, gluten free. You could go for, I guess, or whatever. So.
Yeah. No, you did. It looked good, and I was like salivating watching this thing. I'm like, I want to see him eat this thing, and then he didn't eat it at the end. So, but you did see the final product. And I thought you were going to put a candle in there. I thought you were going to put like 50 candles in there, or a number 50 at least on the top.
Well, look, I was just so excited it turned out so well. I forgot the.
He lost his mind after that. He's like, and he did the whole thing himself too. There was no one there filming for him.
And I hope Mr. G doesn't try and now go into baking cakes and take my ideas.
That's it. That's a good idea. He should have a birthday cake like thing. So if you want to get this sugar-free, isolized, protolyzed, fueled birthday cake, it could be. Mr. G would charge $100 probably for the cake, and he'd make this big.
And like I said,
you get it in a box. It would be all kinds of like happy birthday stuff all over the box. He'd throw like streamers in there and everything like that. It'd be great.
It'd be like my mother when she gives me a birthday card sometimes, and I open it up and she puts fucking glitter and shit in it. I open it up and it fucking goes all over the floor. I'm like, fucking hell. Now my OCD kicks in. I got little gold stars all over the fucking floor and glitter and shit. I said, "What'd you put that in there for?" She goes, "A surprise." I said, "Yeah, it's a fucking surprise."
This will really date me. You remember back in the old days before internet, when I was in when I was in college, there was no internet. There was computers, but there was no internet. And I was I would write letters to people because that's the only way you can communicate with people. I was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and the girl I was dating was in New York, and I had a couple of the girls I talked to, friends of mine, and the girls would spray perfume inside the letter, like so that
and you'd sit there for hours sometimes, like sniffing it.
Oh, it smells so good. Yeah. Now you can't do that with emails. I think that's the next iteration of emails. You got to have a smells. You can put smells into email.
Well, now you get fucking nudie pics. So what do you mean? You don't need to smell.
But it doesn't smell like it. Unless you get the.
I know, but remember when you used to write the letters though. But remember how amazing it was. I couldn't believe when a fax machine came out. I'm thinking, how do I send a fax through this thing? And what I wrote goes through the line
Yes.
somehow, and it comes out the other end. The
That was
words
amazing.
come out. I'm like,
I
this
still
is
don't understand.
incredible.
I still don't understand. Neither do I how it works. Right?
Tyler's like, what are you talking about?
He knows what a fax
No,
machine
yeah,
is.
I've
But
never had to use one, thank God, but
Yeah.
I know what they are.
yeah.
Did Tyler ever have a pager and look for a payphone?
No way he had a
never.
pager.
Just the shitty flip phones, never.
Remember Gold?
We
remember
called them
Gold's
beepers.
humor?
Beepers. We had a beeper.
Oh yeah, beeper. Remember, I used to love it because Gold's Gym must have been like when the drug deals were going on. You
Oh,
see
yeah.
so many people all of a sudden while they're training. Oh, go to the payphone in Gold,
Yeah.
and then they disappear outside.
Yeah. And then once cell phones came about, which was probably in like the early 90s, they were like these big clunky things. I remember that I had the Motorola one with it would flip open.
I gotta say the Motorola,
But the battery would only last like 30 minutes, like at best. And what you would do is because they would charge you whether you got a call or whether you answered it or not. So if someone called you, you were getting charged for it. So you would answer and be like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah," okay, bye, because you want to keep it under a minute because it was like expensive. It was like a couple bucks a minute or something like that. The call.
But don't forget, once you opened it up, you had to pull the aerial up.
Yeah, you had to pull it. Yeah, you're right. You did have to pull it up.
If you looked at it now, it looks like a toy phone, really. When you look at that.
Oh yeah, it's amazing that those
But
things
remember
actually
how
work.
cool you were. Remember how cool you were if you were one of the first to get a fucking BlackBerry.
I'll tell you one thing about those original Motorola phones, though. The reception was better than it is now with these digital phones. Sure. I got news for you. The phones suck today because now they use a digital. Those were analog phones. They really sounded good. They were actually meant for talking. Today, our phones are meant for being on the internet. They're really not. They're not. Yeah, they're not meant for talking.
Maybe that's why millennials hate phone calls.
Of course, because they suck. Yeah, the reception always sucks.
I remember how cool I was when I thought I was cool. Anyway, when I brought one of my fancy BMWs and it come with a phone in it.
Well, the 8 series, right? The 8 series had it built in there. I had the same one.
Yeah. You pop it open, you undo the thing here and pull it out.
It was like a fortune though to use that phone, right? How much did it cost, like for a phone call? Did you talk on that phone?
No, it just looked good. I never used it.
Yeah, no one used the phone. It was built into the car. It was part of the car, actually. It wasn't an accessory. Yeah. It came with the car. No. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that was the 8. I had the V12 one and it came.
Yeah, I had the V12 one too. I had it after you did, though. I had gotten it,
Isn't it funny when I look back at that now, because I had like a wide body kit on it. And even looking at it back then, it was like one of the nicest, sportiest cars ever.
It was a spaceship, that thing. It was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. And now you look at it, it looks so plain now. You look at it, you're like, oh, that looks
no,
like
you know what? It's still. I think it still holds up. I think it still looks really,
you
really
like
nice.
it? I look at it now. I'm just thinking it looks so plain now compared to.
The problem was it weighed too much, that car, because of the V12, and there was no, like, they weren't using carbon fiber back then. The thing was a brick, and it really didn't stop well. It had good acceleration off the line, but it didn't stop well. The brakes sucked in there. I remember I replaced the brakes with Dynon brakes, and it still didn't stop well. But it looked really for the 90s. It looked amazing. I got to tell you.
Well, I remember when I even brought up when it first came out. I thought it was a hot looking car. Was the Mitsubishi 3000 GT?
Oh yeah. And then wasn't the Dodge Stealth also? They looked exactly the same, right?
I had one of them too. I had a Dodge Stealth as well.
Oh, you did?
And then I got this fancy Toyota Supra that had like a kit on it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And if you couldn't afford the Supra, you got the Celica, right?
Yeah.
I was the Fast and Furious before the Fast and Furious even came out.
Right. You had some nice cars. I liked that Saline Mustang you had for a while. I remember that one.
No, that was a nice one. Yeah, that was really good.
That was real. How many horsepower was that car?
Oh, back then, I think it was only around 450-ish, 500.
Yeah, but that was a lot. That was a lot for that, Lee. No one had cars like now. My SUV has 400 horsepower, but back then, no one had that much horsepower.
I know. Now 450 is like almost average for most cars. Yeah. It's like
I remember when I got
me to 800.
I got my BMW M5 in 2000, and it was 400 horsepower, which was unheard of in a sedan back then. That was the first time they had ever gone 400 horsepower, and the thing was really fast. It was a 6-speed. It was really fast for a sedan. I love that car. Now that's like a joke,
Well, I think even some of the most Corvettes back then were like how much horsepower? 350. People are like, oh, 350
Yeah.
horsepower.
But those cars were light because they were made of like what were they made of? Like not plexiglass. What were the old Corvettes made of?
Weren't they just aluminum bodies? A lot of them.
No, they weren't aluminum. They were like plastic.
Fiberglass.
Some kind of plastic they were made of. Yeah, that's why if you crashed them, they just kind of fell apart basically.
Have you seen that new? I watched a thing on it only a couple of days ago. I think it was, is it 4 million or 6 million? That new 16-cylinder twin for quad turbo Bugatti, 1600 horsepower.
Oh, it is. I haven't seen the new one yet. I will show you one thing that's really cool. Pull up that watch.
Yeah. When he said $1 million, that was
Tyler has showed me this Ferrari watch. It's the thinnest watch, and it's not battery operated. It's like gearing, and you can wind it up. It lasts like 2 days. Yeah, this thing is insane looking, and it's got the Ferrari emblem on there.
Give me a second. I'm hopping in Zoom.
All right, yeah, pop it on. But
my friend Aaron brought one of those watches that forget the price of it, but no matter where you are in the world, say you're out on a boat and you're in distress or you're lost in a desert, you push the button and pull the thing out on it, and they send a rescue helicopter to where you are anywhere in the world.
Oh, really? What does that cost?
Oh, I can't remember what it cost him, but if you use it by mistake, they charge you for whatever it fucking costs to send it.
I wonder what it costs to send you to rescue you.
Don't know, but it's part of the watch deal. But if you use it and you're not in trouble, you get billed the fucking whatever. But I would deliberately go out in the desert somewhere and get lost just to fucking use it, just to see.
All of a sudden, I know where a helicopter lands. I was driving the other day my X7 BMW, and something. But this is before I got my surgery. I was driving, and the electrical system wasn't working. I don't know if the alternator was going, and they called me. The car phone rang, whatever. The car said, yes, are you in distress? I said, what do you mean am I in distress? Yeah, your car threw a signal that the electrical system is not working. Do you need us to come send, someone to tow the car?
Your car is hooked to your heart monitor. Are you in distress?
Yeah, exactly. Here it is.
I crashed my Beamer once when I swerved to miss a kangaroo and hit a tree. As soon as I hit the tree, hello, are you okay? Do you need ambulance or a phone? Voice? Yeah. I thought it was God talking to me. I was like, where's the voice coming from?
Look at this thing. It's 1.75 millimeters thick. Look at these little gears on this thing, Lee. How sick is that?
Imagine making that.
Seriously, though.
You got to be a genius to make that thing.
But this is what I don't get. I'm like, I can understand what goes into it, and it's beautiful, but if you're paying any more than a couple of $100 for a watch,
$2 million.
$2 million, Lee, this watch. $2 million.
That's ridiculous.
They're only making 100 of them. It's got
more
the
than
Ferrari.
It's
more than a Ferrari. Yeah, exactly. If you buy this watch, you got too much money on your hands. That's
It's just like
like I said, I got friends that have $100,000 watches, and when I'm with them, I say to them, "What's the time?" And they grab their phone and go,
It's a The watch is a status symbol, Lee. No one looks at it to tell time.
Still, I'd go to Thailand and buy a fucking fake one. Who would know?
I don't think there's any fake ones in this watch. That's for sure. Look at this thing.
It's got such a tiny little dial.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like probably the parts are so cheap on this thing, but it's just making them.
I'd rather, like you said, buy the car and just sit in the car and look at the clock in the car for the same price. Has it got Ferrari written on it anywhere?
Yes, it does. You'll see.
Taking up a huge amount of the front.
Yeah, they have. It's like laser etched on there.
There it is.
There it is.
That'd be like doing brain surgery making that. Fucking hell.
Did you see that guy with the little tweezers and the little eyepiece and everything?
I know.
I couldn't pick up if you gave me a pair of tweezers. I couldn't pick up one of the little gears on that thing. I probably would. I would drop the thing in 3 seconds. The fact that guy was
like those people. That's like those people that make those model boats and put them inside glass bottles and shit. They're like this and they're fucking. I'm like,
I would smash the bottle after 5 minutes. I would smash it.
Then they even put little people on the fucking ships, and I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? I'm like you. I'd be like, fuck it, smash.
after the boat collapsed 4 times inside the bottle, and you can't stick your hand in there to pick it up again. I would be like, fuck this.
I'd get a box of Lego and kick it out the door. I can't even fucking do that.
Oh my god. Well,
That's fucking.
if you want to see Lee and Shawn either slap the shit out of each other or box each other or wrestle each other, let's figure out a way to make it happen. I know we have probably some heavy hitters out there watching this who have some money behind them. Let's get this thing going, man. It's all it takes is money. You know that, Lee. Shawn will do anything for money.
Well, in that text message I sent you, I put up the guy who's the promoter. See if you can put that in here so people can contact him and say, we want to see it. We want to see it.
Yeah.
I put up that guy's Instagram page, the talent fighter promoter guy from the UK. So
okay, it's on your Instagram. All right, we'll pull that up.
I sent it to you in the text messages Instagram page.
Let Tyler pull it up on your Instagram. You can show us which one it is. This way, if anyone has any ideas,
Instagram, or he sent it to you on Instagram.
But it's on his Instagram, I think.
Okay.
You put it
No,
on
I don't
your
think it's
Instagram
on
page?
mine. It's not on my Instagram.
it's
I
not?
sent it to your
Okay.
text message.
I'll put it up later. No problem.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good. Oh, there's Tyler. Tyler's making his appearance. Where's Baxter?
Just saying goodbye. He's asleep.
Oh, he's asleep.
Baxter.
Baxter's in the office today. How are your dogs doing, Lee? You sent me that beautiful picture of them. They're looking great.
Oh,
They got big.
growing by the day.
Where are they right now?
They're just out in their little house.
Oh, they live outside still?
Now they come in every now and then, but it's still 6:30. They're still sleeping. They like to sleep when they're puppies. I take them for a walk around. I walk them around the block, and they come back and sleep for a couple of hours.
Oh boy. Oh, he's very tired. All right. Well, on that tired note, on that yawn, I don't want to put anyone else to sleep. We will once again. If you guys have any ideas about this fight between Lee and Shawn and how to make it happen, put it in the comments below or contact us.
Where's the
privately.
cake video?
Where
did Tyler post the cake video? Is it on Species?
It'll probably be up in the next day or so. It's uploaded to YouTube, but it's not set live yet. It'll probably be up either tomorrow or Friday. Lee, happy 50th birthday, of course. Tyler, your birthday is next week. We'll wish you next week.
It's my 50th.
Yeah.
Yes.
All over again.
Yep, all over again. It's the birthday
But
month.
even though it's not my birthday, maybe next week I might make little cupcakes, and this time I won't forget to film myself eating them.
All right, that'll give us or remake the cake and just eat the cake. You can do that too if you want.
You can't remake something because then it's like trying to,
redo the Mona Lisa. I know, yeah.
Something on perfection. You can't like.
All right. All right, I got to wrap this taco party up. I'm Dave Palumbo with Lee Priest and our producer, Tyler Shore. We'll see you next week.
Taco party.
I'm going to go to the